Hey pillars, welcome back to a brand new video. Now this video is a response video that one of you guys brought to my attention, and it's regarding the new video that Norcal Cycling put on his YouTube channel, and it's called $4,000 budget, what do you buy? If you guys aren't aware of the Norcal Cycling channel, it has over 80,000 subscribers and mainly focuses around race tactics and how to be a better racer when it comes to cycling, and mainly focuses around criteriums and road races. Jeff does a really good job explaining in details what you should do to improve, and I really do rate it if you're trying to become a better racer. Now, the only reason why I'm doing a response to Jeff's video is because in his video, he says if he had a $4,000 budget and had to pick a bike, he would go for the 2020 Giant TCR Advanced 2 KOM edition, which is the exact same bike that I have. So you might be asking, so what? You have the same bike that he recommended. What's your point? The point is, after people watching his video, which right now after one day is 30,000 people, they're most likely gonna type something along the lines of TCR Advanced 2 2020 review, and when you see the search that come up, it's all my reviews regarding the bike itself, because I myself have ridden this bike for over 25,000 kilometers, and this bike has only been released in 2020. Now later on in this video, I will be sharing some more information regarding the points that Jeff makes regarding the bike, because I have more information to share that's worthwhile. But to give you guys the gist of it, I do not recommend buying the Giant TCR Advanced 2 KOM edition, the same bike that Jeff recommends in his video. And the reason is because the warranty that Giant offers is absolutely terrible. Where I'm currently based out of is Canada, so when it comes to warranty claims, you have to deal with Giant Canada. Now, what happened on my TCR was the rear aluminum wheel actually had broken spokes, and this was only after 1 month of riding it, which is not common whatsoever. So I made a whole video, 2 videos on my channel talking about the warranty experience, but long story short, after 4 or 5 months going to different bike shops, talking to Giant Canada, talking to Giant dealers, they were not able to get me back riding, and basically to this day they have not solved the issue. And it's crazy when you think about it, because when you type in the bike and see the review, my videos are the ones that come up, and the fact that they wouldn't try to fix that situation, fix this problem for me, is absolutely ludicrous. And that's what I'm here to share, because I don't want anyone to experience the same thing. Now, if you guys want the full breakdown, that's what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna watch all the key points that Jeff talks about this bike, because I think it's very important, and I have the first-hand experience, the insight behind the scenes, what actually goes on, especially with Giant bikes. So let's get into that right now.
Giant isn't paying us to promote Giant, right? Like, I've never even ridden this bike. So the bike I chose is the 2020 Giant TCR Advanced. Guys, rim brakes. I've been preaching this disc brake thing on the channel for a long time. I'm choosing a rim brake bike. I still think that disc brakes are better, but you pay a premium. I didn't realize for new bikes, like, you pay a premium for disc brakes.
So Jeff is totally right when it comes to Giant's lineup. When it comes to rim brakes versus disc brakes, you're basically paying $400 to $500 more for the disc brake model, and usually they cheap out on the crank. So instead of a 105 crank, you get a cheaper one. So he is right about that.
So if you have the money, go with the disc brake version. I went with the rim brake here. It's also a year-old model. You have a full carbon bike. You have kind of crappy what are going to be training wheels. I'll get to that in a little bit.
So he says right there, you have crappy aluminum training wheels, but you're going to be using them for training. And the funniest thing is you can't use them for training if they break, and Giant won't warranty them. So whether the front rim brakes or the back rim brakes, you won't have a working rim to actually ride your bike, which is absolutely ludicrous. Imagine spending $2,000 on a road bike, and within 1 month, it's not even rideable, and that should be covered under warranty because you have 1 year for manufacturer defects. And the funniest thing is, because so many people have watched my reviews, they've seen me talk about this bike, you know, over 25,000 kilometers ridden. Now, a lot of people had the exact same problem that I had, where Giant wouldn't warranty the wheel, even though they said they would. And in the other situation, you had a lot of bike shops going above and beyond to get these riders back on road.
You have Shimano 105. That also might surprise people. But I think the Shimano 105 is great. It's awesome.
So they talk about Shimano 105, and I totally agree. It's freaking great. I've ridden Ultegra, I've ridden Durus, I've ridden every group set you can think about. Tons of video on my channel talking about group sets. And the 105, after doing 25,000 kilometers, I have nothing to complain about it. Truthfully, I've ridden Ultegra in previous seasons, all my race seasons, even as a junior, and I was totally blown away riding all of 2020 with a 105 group set.
But what I was going to say is there is a Giant model that people are going to point out. It's $3,600, I think, and it's the 2021 model. It has Ultegra, it has carbon wheels, and it's the newer model. But with this pick, I'm saving $1,600, so I have more money to spend on wild cards. and upgrades. And this way I have training wheels, because you don't need to go out with the carbon wheels on training rides. You really don't.
So right there, Jeff says that you have training wheels so you don't have to go out with carbon rims on training rides. And the saddest thing, yet again, this is why I made this video. It sounds maybe like I'm a hater or I'm being so negative right now. And why am I going after Giant? It's because I don't want to see people waste their money and run into the same issues that I ran into. So the fact that Jeff thinks that these rims are going to even last for training is just ludicrous. And it's not his fault. It's not his fault. It's the fact that you would expect a company like Giant to have decent rims, right? You would expect at $2,000, your rims would actually last, and that's further from the truth. So that's why I'm making this video, because I want to warn people. The PR2s, the rims that come stock, the aluminum rims that come stock on the Giant TCR is absolutely the worst rim I've ever ridden. This is like a PSA at this point, because I don't want anyone to buy this bike, because if Giant can't warranty my rims, how are they going to warranty your rims? Right? And the fact that it happened within 1 month of riding. And I was very lucky because I had a set of racing rims laying around that were carbon fiber that I could slap on my bike and actually ride with. But the whole reason why I bought this TCR in the first place was to have those aluminum rims for training. And I had my carbon rims from a previous bike that I could use for racing.
And there's another big thing too. This is going to be a theme on my picks. Is Giant has this crash replacement program, which is great. Crits are dangerous. I'm a crit racer, and I was terrified because you're in a crit. And
so I'm gonna stop Jeff right there and give you guys some actual context and some information from the cycling industry itself. So like I said, I've worked in bike shops that were Giant dealers, and in Canada, there's no such thing as a crash replacement program. I know that exists in the United States, so that's why, if people from all over the world are gonna be watching this video and thinking that, oh, if I'm in Canada, Jeff just said there's a crash replacement with Giant, then I should get this bike, and if I crash, then it's totally warranted, and that's not the case. So not Jeff's fault. Obviously, he doesn't know, but from working in bike shops and Giant dealers, that doesn't exist everywhere around the world. That's most likely only a United States thing. I could be wrong, but when I actually looked on the Giant United States websites, when I would do comparisons, they do have that crash replacement program. Now, I can't be 100% certain that the crash replacement program is not good in the United States, but from my experience, seeing the warranty first-hand experience, not only as myself as a customer, but also when I would see people bring, bikes, TCRs that were should have been covered under warranty, and Giant dealers are like, yeah, no, Giant's not going to cover that. Giant Canada's not going to cover that. You have to buy a new bike. Maybe I can give you a little discount. Like, it was just so bad to see. And that's what I'm saying. This video is primarily going to be focused. Obviously, I don't think necessarily to every Giant, dealer, Giant distributor around the world, because obviously I don't have experience with everything. I'm primarily making this video because when it comes to reviewing this bike and having first-hand experience and also having warranty experience with this bike, I had the absolute worst experience. And there's tons of other bikes that are just as good value that I would highly suggest rather than going for Giant, because like I said, if I've had a problem with Giant, most likely you're going to run into a problem with Giant.
I got the Bontrager Aeolus 5. That's a lot of vowels in there.
So Jeff would upgrade to carbon rims with some Bontrager Aeolus Pro 5s.
You can get a single-sided stages, which is what I put on here. So I threw another $300 at that.
So he also brings up the fact that he would put a single-sided power meter. Now that's really interesting. This video was just released as of recently, so 2021. And it's funny because I made a video back in December 11th, 2020, why you should upgrade your entry-level road bike. And in this video, I basically talk about how a bike with a carbon fiber frame and fork, I know has aluminum steer, 105 group set, what you should upgrade is definitely, if you're going to get into racing, a pretty cheap set of carbon fiber rims, which you can see here that I'm suggesting. And then also I'm talking about the fact that you should also include a single-sided power meter that retails for around 300 USD also in that upgrade. And at that point, roughly the bike's going to cost 3,600 USD all said and done. So it's funny how I made this video a while back, and it's nice to know someone with a lot more racing experience at a higher level agrees with the picks that I chose in terms of what's your best bang for your buck. If you are on a $4,000 budget for racing, what should you actually be focused on upgrading? And it's just nice to see that the information that I was promoting back in 2020 is still being promoted in 2021 by Jeff and on his channel Norcal Cycling. So that's really good to see. I really like seeing people get good information and not being pressured into getting dual side power meters or super expensive aero rims and stuff like that. So really good job, Jeff. So now just my overall ending thoughts on this topic on the Giant TCR Advanced 2. You can see right now, got the Giant swag on right now. And the reason why I want to make this video, even though I don't want to, to. A lot of peddlers, people that support me say, you know, just move on from Giant, don't even talk about them. But it's just unfortunate when I see the fact that people are going to be persuaded into buying this bike potentially from watching this video, thinking it's a good pick. But then again, you know, Norcal Cycling, Jeff, he hasn't ridden this bike. He hasn't had experience like I have. And, you know, he has a way bigger following than I do, 80,000 subscribers. So a lot more people are going to see it. So I think I do have a responsibility. I do have it for people that are going to actually buy this bike to tell them the truth, to tell them my experience from riding so many kilometers on the bike, dealing with warranty firsthand. In terms of the frame, pretty good. You know, in terms of the 105 group set, obviously that's Shimano, so that's not Giant. But in terms of how the frame works, function, a very, very good bike, very good frame. I'm not trying to diss the frame. The problem I have with this bike is the rims, and that's the thing that, you know, is not being taken into consideration. Most people that watch, you know, Norcal Cycling video on this topic might get the Giant TCR Advanced 2, and it will take them probably 6 to 8 months of riding those aluminum rims until they want to pull the trigger and buy carbon rims. So you got to think of it. If they're, you know, thinking of upgrading within 6 to 8 months and their rims break on the first month, what do you think that they're going to feel like? And if they don't have, you know, a good warranty experience like I do, then they're stuck without rims. Like basically I have been stuck since this happened back in, you know, June, July of 2020. So as of right now, guys, after talking to Giant Canada, you know, head where I'm from, because you gotta remember, just from the United States, this is different for all around the world in terms of Giant dealers. So, you know, where I'm from, I have not been, my warranty issue has not been solved. If you guys can take anything away from this video, the PR2 rims are absolutely trash. Then again, if you want to buy the bike and upgrade, sure. But like I said, there's other bikes that have better stock aluminum rims that you can get for roughly the same price, and it's not worth the headache of not having rims that actually work. So in that situation, I hope you guys take that away, and I really do hope that Giant can mend the situation, because, you know, just the fact that, you know, I'm not going to talk about it going forward doesn't mean that people are not going to be buying this bike or buying future Giant bikes with the same problem. So if Giant can't fix my situation, they're most likely not going to fix yours. And like I said, people have contacted me because they've watched my reviews and said that they had the same problem. That's why I'm making this video. It's on no way an attack on Norcal Cycling. I love the channel. I just want people to be informed when it comes to this bike, and when it comes to, you know, cyclist YouTubers on YouTube that have experience with this bike. I would probably say I'm the best one because I have over 25,000 kilometers ridden on this bike. So I hope you guys do appreciate this. I didn't even want to make this video because I hate rehashing this issue because it's not solved. So I hope you guys do appreciate it. I really didn't want to make this video, but here I am making it because people messaged me saying I should. So with that being said, I hope you guys did like it. Until the next one, keep on pedaling.